obviously rising in support here for this. And clarification, again, as the good member just spoke, this is about the traffickers. I'm very familiar with human trafficking and the impacts that it has on the survivors. What does survivorship look like, Mr. Speaker? It means you have a past. Does it actually mean you survive? Because some of the survivors that I've talked with personally, and I've done a lot of this, is that if they have been impregnated by their traffickers or caused by their traffickers, because the sexual relationships that goes on, Mr. Speaker, in trafficking, human trafficking, people that are someone's daughter or even son, the victimization can go on for years. Thousands of clients, and even the traffickers themselves, sexually abuse. So it's this vicious cycle that potentially leads to pregnancy and forced abortions, sometimes allowed to carry out. And then as the good member spoke, then they take that baby and they do what they want to with it. Ritualistic, horrible abuse that is paid for, maybe even trafficked for their body parts. Unthinkable. But this is the world we live in, Mr. Speaker, and it is truth. And we should be doing everything in our powers, legislatively, public safety-wise, federally, nationally, internationally, locally, state, to put a stop to this and eradicate this type of behavior of victimization. But the one thing I can speak to, the conversations that I've had with survivors, specifically one that I'm very familiar with, at a very young age, she was impregnated many times. And some of those same situations that I just spoke of, from miscarriage, forced abortion, delivering some of those premature babies, not knowing what happened to them. Even later, the time went by, bringing back a different baby to say, this is your baby, you will care for it now until we say different. But the one thing that they say that goes against the testimony that I've heard here today, Mr. Speaker, is that everyone says,
the Speaker would ask the members not to impugn the arguments of others. Other members, please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The point I was trying to get to, and it was not to impugn anyone, but was this, is that not all of the survivors that had miscarriages or forced abortions or even carried to term had wanted their pregnancies to end. But they go on with post-traumatic stress, Mr. Speaker, and it's in a case.
The House will be at ease.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I won't belabor this. I am no expert when it comes to human trafficking. But Mr. Speaker, I do think I know a lot more than the average person. And when I rose to speak in favor of this amendment, I had no intention of saying this. But what the good member from the 7th just talked about previously, about the young lady that gave her testimony at the governor's prayer breakfast, Mr. Speaker, that was my adopted daughter. So, Mr. Speaker, I've spent the last 4+ years with her, with many sleepless nights, talking one-on-one. It's not my story to share, it is hers. But I end with this. That is a direct testimony to my testimony here, Mr. Speaker. So what I would ask, by asking you to support this amendment, Mr. Speaker, is that we stand up to protect the innocent, for the young women and young boys that have been trafficked and been subjected to this inhumane behavior. Mr. Speaker, missing Indigenous people is a big thing. And it is my goal to get to the heart and the bottom of that. So, Mr. Speaker, that's a thing of the past, that we don't create new victims, that we protect them all colors alike. So rise, Mr. Speaker, with me in support of this. Thank you very much.
Further remarks? Seeing none.